So this will be our third type of software that we'll be using to make Music Minus One recordings. Our first was Finale, inputting notes and then having playback. Our second was Audacity, where we created live recordings via the human voice. And our third one is this program with GarageBand, where we can actually perform the notes using a MIDI keyboard controller and then set the sounds to be that of a choir. So a little bit more similar to that of Finale. However, we're demonstrating inputting the notes instead of manually putting them in. Although you can play into Finale as well. So I've already created 3 of my tracks. I'm going to create my 4th track. So new track, software instrument, and I'm going to go ahead and look for the tracks that I want, which is the male choir. And I'm going to go, and we are going to just rename this. So I have all 4 of my tracks ready to go. So I'm going to first record the soprano. I have my MIDI controller plugged in. I have my tempo set here to 80, and all you have to do is click in. You can change things, but I'm going to go back to 80. My metronome feature is on, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm actually just going to play this right into GarageBand. And that is my recording. So I'm just going to go ahead and push this a little farther. I'm going to use my first measure later to set the dough for my students for when they use this for assessment. And I'm going to go ahead and use this piano roll. And I'm just going to do some edits to make it a little bit neater. And first things first, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Zoom is up here in the left-hand corner. I'm going to click on all of these. And I'm going to go ahead and quantize this. Quantizing is basically moving each note to make sure that it fits within a certain subdivision. And in my case, quarter notes, because I'm not doing anything smaller than a quarter note. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to zoom in so you can see this, and hit the Q button, and little snaps. Zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click and drag each of these so that they fit within my quarter note, or half note in this case. Now, if you're noticing that most of your notes are the same distance away from where you want them, you can click and highlight and then drag. So that one worked out. And they'll move multiple at the same time. Okay, great. Always saving. And I'm going to go ahead and do my alto next. So I started a little early. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that and restart. Gotta make sure it sounds on. So 4 beats, and we're in 2. And just to save time from needing to edit each one and then record, I'm going to go to my next one and record my tenor. And then my bass. And just for a quick shortcut, I'm hitting my spacebar, and that's ending my recording and stopping the track from playing. And here's bass. 1, 2, 3, and... time to do the edits. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my alto, and I'm just going to zoom out for easier highlighting. And quantized it, and then I can zoom back in, and I'm going to start doing my quick edits. I'm really precise. So if you're really confident with piano, or piano is the easiest way that you can quickly make a music -1 recording. Something as easy, for example, as a sight singing exercise. GarageBand is going to be a very great tool for you. And just doing my last edits, and then that one is complete. So I'm going to head to the tenor, zoom out, click, and tile it. Click and highlight, quantize it, zoom in, and just do my last edits. After we're done editing, the next step will be to export these. This is very similar to Audacity, in that we will silence certain recordings to export. Certain tracks will be silenced or muted. And then we can do 4 different recordings. Again, if you're a pianist and you're going to be making music -1 recordings of your choral literature, you can either input or play in your accompaniments, and then you can create the parts by playing them this way. You can also create your recording in here, and then take your accompaniment and put it into Audacity, and then record voice over it as well. So you have some options. These are definitely, all these programs are definitely can be worked with together. Quantize and zoom in. Another really great program is Soundtrap, like I had mentioned. It's very similar to this one. However, you can easily input notes into your piano roll. So sometimes, especially when a piano piece, the accompaniments are really difficult, I'll input the notes into Soundtrap, and then I'll play them back, and then I can create MP3s. So that's another option as well that we'll explore in our next recording tutorial. And here is going to be our recording, and I'm going to put do in at the beginning just for the students. I'm just turning my velocity down to in the 80s for each one, so it's not so aggressive. Okay, so I'm just going to put in a quick do for each one, just to have that, so that the students have reference pitch. You can also create a recording of yourself. Deleted that. Counting in as well. So now I have a reference pitch for each one. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start creating the actual recordings. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute the soprano one first. And you go ahead and you go to send song to iTunes. You can also send the song to SoundCloud as well. I like to use MP3s a lot for my Google Classroom, but you can do any of them. So I'm going to do Music -1 Garage Tutorial Soprano. And then I'm going to go ahead and I put in the highest quality and share it on over. I have one in here. You can put them into folders into iTunes. So that is creating your GarageBand demos via GarageBand.